Hello. So surprised that you're here. Shocking, even. So shy about it. Okay. Hi. Welcome to another stream. It's another day, another stream in fascist America. The United States of America, that is. Stolen indigenous land. Welcome to whatever this is. An attempt at providing education, advocacy, and a little common sense in this digital wasteland. I'm Aubri Devashrayee. Welcome. If you are here with good intentions, wanting to create a better world, you are very welcome. Please contribute. Constructive criticism is welcome. But if you are here with ill intentions, wanting to demean other people, you will receive what you give. That is the Hydra blessing and curse that I'm starting out with on streams. Take what you will. Well, hello, Linton. Welcome. Good to see you. How are you doing? Were you able to sleep? I hope so. Unless it was an intentional way to do more writing, then, do you. I personally am a night owl, so I enjoy staying up late. In this society that is built off of the 9 to 5 is extremely aggravating to me. And with all of the sleep studies that have been done more recently, it's shown that it's genetic and biological. People who are more predisposed to being morning people or night people. I've never been a morning person. I slept just about enough. I mean, I guess that's all we can really ask for. Glad to hear that. There is this recent thing on YouTube that has started, and I think it's happened since the lawsuit that they lost. YouTube and Facebook, Meta, that they have more requirements for parameters around usage since they lost this lawsuit about people being addicted to social media. That there will be this notification that pops up on YouTube that's well, one, there's are you still watching? Do you need a break? Which, I think that's probably good. I don't think that stops anyone from continuing. But there's also this one that happens at night that's oh, it's going to be 5 a.m. You should go to bed. And I really resent that. I'm this is some billionaire bullshit where they're I get up at 4 or 5 a.m. and I do this workout and I do an ice plunge and then I drink a carton of raw milk and raw eggs. Okay, you're just rich. That's what's happening. You have free time to be working out for 3 hours in the morning. I resent that. I'm don't tell me when to go to bed. I'm an adult. Voice of Bachaprat. I know. I have been wanting to show more of their music. Unofficial Zachap Raid. Hello, Ziaduke. Ziuduk. I do this every time. I'm sorry, is it Duke or Duck? Rated someone that ended. Okay. Well, welcome. Glad to have you. The typo for you or me? Do I have that in the typo? Or in the... Let me see. Bachaprat. Oh, there you go. Okay. Oh, you were saying you were doing the typo. I just wanted to confirm. I'm I have been known to do this at times, so not gonna pretend like I don't. There are more dukes than ducks, but they're both good. Okay. Did no one else come over? I don't know. Not that I can see, but that's okay. Also, where did my screen just go? Sometimes this happens. Ugh, technology is annoying. I'm gonna pull this back up wherever the fuck I was before. How are you doing? Britt Griff, welcome. Oh yeah, there are more people. Double dipping. Glad to have you. Okay, now I gotta find my damn window. I have so many windows open. This is concerning. This is an issue. Probably undiagnosed ADD, perhaps. Someone worked it out. Yes, welcome. How are you doing, Britt Griff? Not bad. Well, yeah, I think things are all right with me. Kind of depends on the day, I guess, and the moment. But I guess that's just being human, especially living in capitalism. I don't know. We're all carrying on, I guess. Apparently, so it is Culture Corner today. Ooh, where we go over some things that I'm excited about with artists, whether this has happened recently or no. And speaking of culture, or not that much in my mind, apparently it's Taylor Swift's wedding today. I give zero fucks about this. Maybe even negative fucks. Because I'm like, okay, this is at Madison Square Garden. This is just reminding me of like classic fascist behavior. I know there's Swifties that like hate any sort of criticism, but I'm just calling it like it is. This is my perspective. All billionaires are fascist. This is the nature of it. Whether they identify as such or no, they are complicit in this system. Um, so yeah, that's about as much as I'm going to get into that. All billionaires are fascists. Yeah, we need to start that. Is that a common thing that's said? That's something I'm just saying off the top of the dome, but many people probably say that. So far, so great. Brother's coming into town for the holiday. Oh, a bunch of nibblings. Cute. Glad you get to see them. Yeah, it's a weird time in the US where it's like there's this holiday, glad to have some work off, but also like hopefully we're using it as time to like be resisting, focusing on what matters, but yeah, there are like family traditions people want to engage in, use it as a time for like developing good relationships. It's a it's not necessarily like a holiday I resonate with, but it is also nice to be able to have time with loved ones. So there's that. Madison Square Garden for a wedding is wild. Yeah, this is why it reminds me of like a Nazi rally. I know this is probably like maybe off base for some people, but like this is why Trump wanted to have a political rally there. It's also just like tacky to me of like, okay, so like you're just saying, "Oh, I had a concert here." Also, you're a sports guy. And I'm like, okay. Recently, there was an article I saw that came out that, like, within the past 3 months, Taylor Swift had enough emissions with, like, all of her private jet travels that uh, surpassed the number of emissions that she and all of her team used for her Eras tour. So, this is fascist behavior. We need to call it out. Um, Apparently, it's like shutting down a good portion of New York because it's in the middle of New York City, Madison Square Garden. So, like, who cares? I don't care. I think her music is boring and uninspired. So, that's as much as I'm going to get into that about culture, anti culture, I guess, in Culture Corner for today. Welcome's a chap. Gotta go to 4th of July event dressed up in USSR fashion and a hamstick pin. Yeah, exactly. Come with the hammer and sickle. Have like sign up forms for like the Communist Party. This is what it takes, I think. Will Zoran be there? I think he will, actually. And part of that is like, okay, it's common courtesy to invite the mayor. If I was the mayor of New York City, which I will never be, I will never run for office. I would love to live in New York City. Um, I would not go because I don't care. But that might be looked at as like poor form, poor taste on his part. Also, I don't know if he likes her music or like if his wife does. I don't know. New York City experiencing power insecurity. Let's host a billionaire bash. Exactly. Power insecurity. The power grid is being pushed to its limits, not only because of like global warming and the weather, but with these data centers, especially AI data centers. And this is happening all across the nation, to be clear. The surge with heat waves. This is like the hottest summer we've had on record in Utah, where I'm located. It also is interesting because Governor Spencer Flaccid Cox of Utah, he is saying like, "Oh, we need a ban on fireworks for the 4th of July." He's not doing it for the 24th, which is Pioneer Day, essentially colonization day of Utah, because he is more afraid of Mormons than he is of anyone else talking about like, "You aren't being a patriot." So he's willing to ban fireworks for like a weekend or a day, but not ban AI data centers where they are taking up all of this water and energy, and we are having tons of wildfires in Utah. There have been firefighters who have died fighting these fires all across Utah. So clearly, this is what the ruling class does. They don't care about life, they just care about money. And in very typical Mormon fashion, they care about looking nice. They want to be liked rather than being kind. Because if you ask most people who are LDS, I grew up LDS, so there you go. They will never stick their neck out for you. If you ask them to take on any sort of substantial risk, do not count these people as allies. So, there you go. That's my rant for today. Shall we get into Culture Corner? Normally, we start out with a more humorous video, but I did want to cover this just so that we can get started with the things that I have planned. I also have been having more like headaches lately, and this is, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I'm gonna fuck up my makeup. Oh well. Not like there were that many clean lines to begin with. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I'm going to be limiting my screen time. So I think I may stream tomorrow. If you're interested, you can turn on notifications and talk more about like dismantling what we know of as the oppressive systems in the United States of America instead of talking about, like the founding fathers, slave owners, and capitalists. So you can stay tuned for that. We started on the Telangana rebellion video by Rohan Davis, and I will be very honest about this. I didn't engage with the substance as much as what I would like to upon like uploading the video to YouTube and like seeing some of it. I'm like, okay, there were plenty of things that I missed here. And apologies to Rohan for not giving it the attention that I feel like it deserves. So we'll be rewatching that tomorrow. We didn't get that far to begin with. Anyway, going to this video, The Onion was recently bought out from Alex Jones. I forgot his name for a sec because who cares? And instead of like starting out with like any number of, well, this is one of the first things they're doing. I was going to say I felt like I was going somewhere profound with that, and I didn't, so ignore that. The Onion's parody of InfoWars starts with $100,000 to Sandy Hook families because guess what? Alex Jones went bankrupt. He has yet to pay the Sandy Hook families for all of the lies, misinformation, disinformation, the nefarious untruths that he spread everywhere about the Sandy Hook shooting, and their families have not had any sort of compensation, despite um, despite losing that case, this defamation case, and like very substantial harm that he has done to these families. So it's great that he has been bought out, and also great that they are willing to be compensating some of the families, that it's not just about like a ha ha ha, we're buying you out, this is funny, because I mean it is funny, but also like trying to actually compensate people is important. It's all poetry anyway. I wish I was speaking in poetry all the time. Oh, there was a. Okay. There's something else I need to pull up. Wait. Wait. Just with all of the screens that and like windows I have. Zach, you called me out on this the other day. This is still a phenomenon for me. Wait, did I send it to myself yet? No. Okay. Never mind. This is very organized with everything going on. I'm going to see if I can find it on YouTube. But if not, I'll save that for a different day. There was a creator on, and she posted this on Instagram, of doing like a Shakespearean interpretation of part of The Devil Wears Prada. And she wrote it in iambic pentameter. I am the target audience for that. I was like, wow, this is for me. Also, very impressive. Okay, I'll shut up. We can watch this.
The satirical news site The Onion is getting creative after its purchase of the far-right news outlet InfoWars.
Now, that was owned by Alex Jones. He lost it after the court ordered him to pay more than $1 billion to Sandy Hook shooting families he defamed. The Onion plans to launch a parody version using the InfoWars brand. They're starting by sending the victims' families a $100,000 check from merchandise sales.
The comedian-owned company says they'll use satire to expose Jones's conspiracy theories while making sure any profits from the platform go to compensate those affected.
Okay, that was short. Honestly, I hope the families get more than this, that as they generate more revenue from taking over InfoWars, that they will continue to compensate people, because $100,000 that is split across all of the families, that really does not amount to much, to be honest. Especially when we consider, like, there's no amount of money that will compensate these families for the harm this shithead has done, and compensating for the lives of their children that were taken through this unconscionable, nonsensical, evil violence. So, there we go. That's my take. Shall we get into the heart of Culture Corner? This is Voice of Bachaprat. They are an all-women band, a metal band from Indonesia. Penis pill proceeds. Yeah, exactly. They have some really strong series. They better keep true to what they said. It's bound to make a lot. Yes, exactly. With The Onion and this takeover. Especially from what I have seen, because Tim Heidecker is helping with it from Tim and Eric. They, especially if you are a millennial, you're very familiar with Tim and Eric's work, especially if you were socialized male. I have shown a number of some of their skits for like the beginning of like showing humorous videos of the stream. But yeah, I agree. They better continue this, because it seems like this will only grow, at least hopefully, but it's already brought in a lot more people who might not have been as plugged into what The Onion is doing. And having seen like Tim Heidecker already do a parody, I'm like, okay, this person, like, he needs to do like vocal warm-ups, and he needs to like cool down his voice after all of these. This is the theater kid in me. I was going to do like a vocal lesson today. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow, just because I haven't had as much time to like plan something that I am pleased with, because I can be very particular. So maybe we'll talk about that, warming up and warming down your voice. We're going to be talking about going through your chest voice and your head voice, working through the break in your voice called your passaggio in Italian classical singing. So that will be coming tomorrow. Anyway, so Voice of Bachaprat, they are an all-women metal band, and they are in Indonesia. They are Muslim, and they are extremely politically correct. They have incredible music. Like, when I first saw them play, like, it was this overview of like, who are these people and what are they doing? Like, their talent is insane. Like, the way they were playing, like, at least in like what I have seen and heard so far, I'm like, this is like Hendrix. Like, they are so fucking talented. They like have met Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, and like the way that they focus on how the politics of what is going on around them. This is like what art, like what high art is to me. And high art not meaning like classist, like elitist art, but like high art in the way of like art that actually means something, that it should be saying something larger. Not like art always has to. We talk about this, but especially with Indonesia experiencing some of the worst effects of global warming, they have been talking about this in their music, talking about the corruption of their government, speaking out against the pigs and police brutality, and also oppression of women. So shall we listen to some of their music? This is God Allow Me, Please, to Play Music. The styling is so fierce. This bass solo, also being in chains.
God allow me please to play music. God allow me please to play music. God allow me please to play music. God allow me please to play music.
Oh, look if he directed this music video.
Why today many perceptions have become toxic? Why today Idealizations are using our mind. I feel like
First, like
I'm
almost having like some ska
holding down the deep
influence.
hole of hatred.
Bona Palmer,
I'm now the criminal.
Damien Chandra, Hilton, okay, some really great people on the aesthetics. They're also incredible live from the stuff that I've seen. I almost prefer watching them play live. That shows I am a snob, okay, when it comes to people being able to do stuff live. This is the theater kid, okay? But they are such magnetic performers. There's no replacement for live performance, in my opinion. Fierce. This tableau at the end with VOB, voice of Bachaprat, on fire. Very cool. Queer applause. Okay, some of these recommended. This is what my algorithm is. Some BDSM education, Democracy Now, American Revolution was hardly an anti-colonial movement. Yeah, hello. That's something that I am wanting to watch tomorrow. Frederick Douglass's speech on the 4th of July that these white feminists, bourgeois feminists at the time, they were like, oh, will you come speak to us and talk about what it means to be free? And the speech, this is a reductive way to be giving a summary, but he was like, this is offensive. This is only like, how can you be talking about freedom when like this day does not mean freedom for everyone? So we'll be going over that tomorrow as well. All right, Lyndon, this is something that you shared by Elaine Brown, who was a chairman of the Black Panther Party, and this is Seize the Time. I have not listened to this, so this is a first reaction. But also, the album art here is very cool. Just like the color theory here. Love. And also like the cutouts, like amazing. Ooh. Okay. Immediately getting up with like the syncopated rhythm where it feels like it's offbeat, but like that's the intention. You have two different time signatures that are clashing. When artists do this, like, and they're doing it intentionally, it's not because they don't know what's happening. It's usually to invoke a feeling of like having resistance to something, or to like make you feel like uncomfortable, to like pay attention. So already I'm very impressed.
To you and should surround you. Yet when I turn to look, I see they've snatched the sun from all around you. Why
She
you
has a great
hardly
voice
seem
too.
to want what's yours, you hardly seem to care. If you love the sun, it's where you come from, then you had better dare to seize the time. The time is now. Oh, seize the time, and you know how. You tell me that the soul is real and your soul must survive. Yet I see they've taken liberties with your souls and your lives. Don't tell me that you lack concern for
since
You
the
worry
captions don't
about liberty because you've
activated, I
been
guess.
denied. Well, I think that you're mistaken, or then you must have lied. 'Cause you do not act like those who care. You've never even fought for the liberty that you claim to lack. Or have you never fought to seize the time? The time is now. Oh, seize the time, and you know how.
Damn. More queer applause. Holy shit. Incredible. Yeah, I want to take a peek at some of these lyrics that we missed. Such a good call to action. Perfection in the art of agitprop. Yes, exactly. And like perfection with like it's actually good. Live drumming, you can tell the instruments, like this was all done like in the recording studio. Again, being a snob that I feel is necessary sometimes, not in like the classist way, but like, is this good art? Are people talented? That's what I care about. I love that, especially when you have someone who is a leader and is able to be like, oh, I can also like the performing aspect cannot be separated from like being an orator and being able to understand what it takes to like be speaking to a crowd, like using that to help with resistance movements, like that really lends itself these skills. You tell me that the sun belongs to you and should surround you, but when I turn to look, I see they've snatched the sun from all around you. Why, you hardly seem to want what's yours. You hardly seem to care. If you love the sun, it's where you've come from. Then you had better dare to seize the time. The time is now. Oh, seize the time, and you know how. Yeah, if, like, there are answers. Like, we can feel very helpless, but, like, we have to care about this. That, like, this involves all of us and affects all of us. You tell me that the soul is real and your soul must survive, yet I see they've taken liberties with your souls and your lives. Don't tell me that you lack concern for all that you must be, 'cause I know you must not, you must not be turned, and I know that you can see, to seize the time is now, oh seize the time, and you know how. Yeah, and then we picked up at verse 3, I think. Wow. Once again, great recommendation, Linton. The End of Silence is another from that album that is also powerful. Ooh, okay. We'll have to look at that one sometime as well. Okay. So this was another recommendation by you, Linton. Another low-key song, Heroes of Human History, featuring Mai Khalil. And I did want to show, like, I'm trying to categorize things of being like, this is resistance music. This is some music that I enjoy, that I'll be playing next. I mean, not to say I haven't enjoyed this other stuff, but that is not as political in nature. And then there's this new song with Madeon and Slater that came out. I've not heard. We will see if there's a copy strike involved. If the copyright gods are like looking down on me today, it just kind of depends. So, per usual, I'll probably be annoying and interrupt just to limit the amount of time that goes by for like the copyright gods to interfere with all of this stuff. So I am currently figuring out more of like the Discord. So normally I share links to all of this in the Discord after streams, including links to VODs, just so that people can watch this stuff on their own time without me being like, hi, so that you can listen to it all the way through. But let's give this a watch. I'm also going to pull up the lyrics for this one since it doesn't have captions. And not like the captions are always correct anyway.
Are you all alone? Only you in history. Are you all alone? Only you.
Ooh, the color grading. That's so warm.
Al-Khwarizmi estimated the circumference of the globe at a time when Europe thought the earth was flat and couldn't tell the time of day. The astrolabe paved the way for the clock. Now I'm about to turn it back. Was the medicine.
Okay, so I don't even need to pull up the lyrics. Inclusive. Love that.
Of Ibn Sina perceived as backwards when Oxford scholars deem bathe in a heathen practice. History from Aristotle to Al-Kindi as we gather innovations of Ibn Haytham to Da Vinci and the camera. Asked Roger Bacon, Galileo, and Adelaide of Bath, Ibn Chartres before Copernicus, century and a half. House of wisdom books waiting gold answers to conundrums. Cheng Ho sailed the sea before Da Gama and Columbus. You are not who they say you are, you're blessed with a choice. Here since the 700s, look at King Offa's coins. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. There's a crater named after El Ma'moon on the moon, so fly.
All alone, only you.
Showing him reading. That's hot. As a sapiosexual, I approve.
All alone, only you. In
Also highlighting artists.
Civilizations build on each other, not each to their own. My question, if people are equal like the teeth of a comb. We're Jahif, Mansa Musa, Malik Najashi, Abid. I didn't think so, but it seems shabby. Nasi, what I need. Check yourself, check Raphael's depiction of Ibn Rushd. Think twice, study history, give it a different look. Curriculum's literally littered with pitfalls of ridicule. Fatim al-Fahri founded one of the oldest still existing schools. It's deeper than some rhymes I'm providing for the listener. No surprises for a spitter. The word cipher came from Sifr. Is the next Yunus Mahmoud among 4 million orphan babies? What if it's Mardini wasn't able to swim to safety? It could be Steve Jobs is starving under Hisar. It would be Zah Hadid just died in the infajar. Through your veins flow Gilgamesh and Abu Nawas. Your future's bigger than the pain of your present and your past. Just shine.
all alone, only you.
Dosage.
Are you
I appreciate the alliteration in both of these examples.
only you.
See, that is poetry.
Poetry
there, poetry here.
We strive to be free for non-struggle for independence. He wasn't alive to see the countrification, alienation, souls left so scarred. Idarated to wahish, decapitations on postcards. The occupier left behind all forms of stigma. Insidious settlement of the mind is more malignant from the ashes of war. No phoenix, that human is lost. They learned idarated to wahish from Masu and Lacoste. We learnt resistance from Mahiba Khurshid and Layla Khalid. Learned about Jamal from Bu'azza, Basha and Buharid. Abdul Qadir was reburied in
Yes, I love that he's shouting out to women. That often can be overlooked in any sort of resistance movement.
Tomorrow Palestine, not the first or the last to break free from the guillotine. Yesterday El Jazair. Tomorrow Palestine.
All alone, only you. In history. Are you all alone, only you. In history.
Exactly. Free Palestine, free Sudan, free the Congo, free Algeria. Free all places under colonial occupation. That's fun at the end of cutting to a live performance. Amazing. Another great recommendation. Okay, so deviating a bit from more political art, this is a song my partner and I, we have been like reminiscing about like some of the songs we would listen to in high school, like last night we were listening to Youth Lagoon, and I was like, they have like one song that is like really, really good, and then the rest kind of just sound like they're offshoots of that one song. No shade to them. I mean, I guess that is shady. Who cares? But I think that I don't normally like engage in a lot of nostalgia because I can be like, oh, that inhibits creativity sometimes, but it also can be healing at times. This is a song that I love that came out in 2012 by Lion Babe. She is the daughter of Vanessa Williams, I believe. So she's very talented. This is inherited. Also, it helps to have like access to resources and connections and shit. I do think this is her best song. I think there's like another guy that is part of like the Lion Babe of like he helps with the instrumental stuff. Excuse me. Okay. So this is a song, Treat Me Like Fire. You may have heard this, you may have not. I think since I have recently joined TikTok, since I've not been a part of it, I'm always annoyed of social media, so I'm not invested in all of these trends, which is why I will be like, oh, recently people are just figuring out Slater exists. Interesting, since she's like taken off on TikTok. And looking at this Madeon song that came out, this is kind of like what inspired like taking like a blast to the past and like, oh, I used to listen to a lot of Madeon and also Lion Babe. Your room is so clean, it screams, I don't have mental illness. But it looks nice. Well, I wouldn't say that it doesn't say I don't have mental illness. My desk is not as clean, but I'm glad you like the space. I really love color, and growing up in Utah where people talk about like millennial gray, I hate that. I have never understood why people are drawn to like whites and grays. Beige sometimes if there's like good decor with it, but especially growing up Mormon where like everyone's house, they try to make it look like the inside of like the Mormon temple, like what they call the celestial room, because apparently there are like tiers to heaven and everything is white there. Not only with the people attending, but the decor. And it is frightening. Like it really is off-putting. And so like since childhood, I've always like been drawn to colors and I'm like, oh yeah, this is like much more true to Desi identity, being Southeast Asian, and like how color is so evocative. So we have some peacock themes as well here, like this wallpaper, there are peacocks. Peacocks are very Desi. Also, peacocks are very queer. 'Cause same. Also, it's not an accident that like peacocks are like a queer symbol when like the male birds are the ones with like the fancy feathers and they're like, hello. Which is why I don't understand the concept of what people are calling bird behavior, because it's like male birds that usually have the fancy feathers and are like, hi, 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 hi. So, hot take. I love a painted black room. I mean, that can be really great. I love that too. It depends on like how it's done, in my opinion. But it can be very moody, and I like that. Clearly, I'm not opposed to the color black. Hello, Aliana. Welcome. I'm doing all right. You know, I was going to do a longer stream for today, but I've been getting more headaches recently. I've been trying to limit my screen time for this. So I will be streaming tomorrow to also have some alternative entertainment for those who are not wanting to engage, like especially those in the US, in any of the like 4th of July type of bullshit, or especially for people who are not necessarily like connected to family in many ways. We can have our own little familial celebration where we're talking about resistance history. That's my kind of thing. Yeah, how are you doing? Especially with you talking about that mall situation. I'm glad you're safe. Of course. Please, good news is always welcome. While you were doing that, let's get into this Lion Babe song. This Treat Me Like Fire song, I think, is her best song. Also, I need to look up if she's a fire sign, because this is very much fire sign behavior. You made a new friend. You're gonna box each other. I know you're saying you're wanting to have more people that you can do some combat with. That's cool. Good for you. Okay, so that beginning that she showed, that's not part of the song on like most like streaming platforms. It's just for the music video. Also, as someone who likes pet play, this is definitely appealing to like the kitten in me. I'll also pull up the lyrics for this.
Treat me like fire. Into the pain. Into the pain. Hey boy, I like your style. Come over here, let's talk a while. Yeah, I'm curious what we would do, the two of us. What would you like to do? I'll introduce you to my eyes, my lips, my hair. If you're good, we'll go from there.
This is Lion Babe.
I'm feeling you, and I know that you want me to. In the
Sounds
end, I'm
fire.
doing me.
Exactly.
That's all you got to see.
And treat it like it.
That's just how it
Apparently,
is.
that's
But I
a link
gotta
to
tell
the
you this. I'm a bit too dangerous.
link to this music
If you
video.
want me, you should just treat me like
I'm glad you have a training buddy. That's great.
fire.
I used to work retail, and sometimes they would play this song, and I was like, surprised that they would play some decent music sometimes.
I glow, but you know not to touch me, 'cause it might burn. If it don't work, but soon you'll see the truth after the smoke.
Good music, yeah, exactly. Not just like typical white woman music. Hot. So hot. Do you see that kick? I have to go back and show that. Holy shit! Do you see that? It takes flexibility and strength. Okay, so it's the duo Lion Babe, like I mentioned. The producer is Lucas Goodman, apparently. Yep, she is the daughter of Vanessa Williams.
Can I go home? Treat me like, honey, treat me like fire.
She has a song called Frida Kahlo? Wow. I didn't know that. That's cool. I'll have to check that out sometime. Okay. This is the Medellin song. Slater has been more notorious about copyrighting her songs to have strikes on them. And this is very annoying to me, especially for artists who used to have things more under fair use. It's not an accident that this happens a lot when people are getting into their more capitalist era, okay? Because this is only more recently with her newest album, and since it has taken off, that she has done this. So I understand artists need to protect their art, especially when it comes to musicians. It's like this intangible product that can be very difficult to regulate. But also, you have money, bitch. How about be a little more equitable with it? Also, another artist that has done this more recently is Charlie XCX, who has recently, I guess within the past couple of years, gotten to be more in the public eye, and definitely in her capitalist era as well. Also, I've gotten to a point where any artists that are like bragging about how much money they have, bragging about like the name brands that they wear, this is bad taste for me. This is gross. I'm like, okay, so you're proud of this? You're proud that it's at the expense of other people? That you're like, oh, I like that it's exclusive. It's like, fuck you. Anyway, I am curious about the song. I will give my honest opinion. I have not heard it yet, but Medellin is another one of those where I feel like he has like a couple of good songs, and I didn't really pay attention to the rest of it because a lot of his stuff sounded like similar but not as good as some of the best songs. Anyway, yes, I love any book recommendations. Get my clothing made by slaves that's prohibitively expensive. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Especially, and this is why, like, as we were talking about yesterday with fashion, how it's like these brands, these name brands, and like China was exposing this more recently within like the past year or so, in saying that like, oh, these name brands that they're wanting to sell things at an exorbitant price, and they're the like off-brand stuff that goes to just like regular retail stores, that they're made in the same places. It just is about class signaling. Having worked in retail, I worked at Anthropologie, the clothing store, which I hope that's not that obvious, but there were a lot of white women that would come in and would buy just like a white t-shirt that was like, this is not worth the money. As employees, we would understand this, of like some of the things that are better made, that have more like thought put into it, like more expensive or like more durable types of material that would be used, like more intricate designs. This would be worth people's money more. Statement pieces that you can't buy at other places. But a lot of people just wanted to come in and class signal and then like boss people around and be like, I don't like this. That's like, okay. I was always called in for like de-escalation tactics, which is annoying, but I guess having like certain life experiences prepares you for other types of life experiences. It's more of a like superpower, I guess, and in hindsight, look at my blood diamonds vibes. Yes, exactly. It's like when I see like Bridgerton, the show, how I'm like, okay, it's like, who cares if we have more kinds of people in these positions? They're still talking about having like sapphires from India. And so like, okay, so you're invested in slave labor and the trafficking of human beings. and colonization. I don't care. The book is called Small Unit Tactics by Max Velocity Tactical. Okay, thank you. To an 8th grade reading level. I love that. That's very accessible. I think especially since like the longer I have been out of college, the more I'm trying to do decolonizing, especially realizing that like literacy or what we are viewing as like reading levels and like the types of words that people use, what we consider to be grammar, just writing in general, is very colonized. I mean, reading itself was imposed on many people as a form of colonization and stripping away of culture and identity. But also how like it's a way to impose whiteness and fascism, especially when it comes to various types of vernacular and other languages. So yeah, the more we can have things be accessible, especially for people with cognitive disabilities or just like people who don't have as much education, it's like this is what we need to be doing in order to make knowledge more democratized. I was always called in for de-escalation. Okay, so we probably have some similar life experiences. Maybe not like exactly the same, but certain types of volatile familial environments. Tactics are important and useful even to protesters. Yeah, I agree. Also, me saying like volatile and familial, this is not necessarily like helping to bring things down to like an 8th grade level. This is me being annoying. So sorry. Okay. Just like explosive types of family situations, I guess, is a more accessible way of saying that. I mean, thanks for saying that, but also I think I can do a better job of like not think I've always, because I'm a nerd and just liked reading as an escape, but I also had the privilege of having access to books and like proximity to books. Um yeah, of just like trying to like explain things in a way that isn't keeping it so like certain people like can't understand things. Anyway, this is Fire Away. I thought this was fitting to pair with the Treat Me Like Fire. So, we'll see what this has in store. I will give you my honest opinion. I have not heard this before. So I don't get struck down by the copyright gods, I'll have an annoying insertion here. Slater's latest album, Worst Girl in America, which I guess you could be saying that, but like I think some of the worst girls in America, aren't they like MAGA? I don't know. Um is that this latest album definitely has more of like a 2010s type of era. And so this is like a very fitting pairing, I feel, if like with her continuing the run of this album. Something that was shocking to me as another insertion, my partner, because like we both went on Mormon missions, which is a nightmare, but like someone that he knew from his mission, like his wife is like a modesty influencer for Mormon clothes and stuff, which is as tacky and boring as it sounds. And she had a Slater song. He was showing me something of like, oh, these are the new garments, like the secret magic underwear that isn't that magic, that Mormons wear. And so she was like, oh, look at, like, it can fit under like tank tops and stuff. And they had to change what garments look like because they're hemorrhaging young people in their membership. And she had a Slater song in the background. And I was like, what? How does she know who Slater is? Slater has been primarily, like, up until most recently, like after like her Coachella, I think, performance, more young people got into her music. But she was before this mostly like enjoyed by a primarily queer audience. And so I was like, oh, she's reached heights that I have not known about because I'm not plugged into social media. Like, does this woman know, who was the influencer, that like this song talks about getting gay off tequila? I don't think she did. So far, I feel like there isn't particularly anything revolutionary or original about this song. Oh, the bridge. I think it's mostly for the nostalgia factor. That's a little different. Okay. I would have liked to hear more of that, like, skipping type of sound. I don't know if you all know who Kavinsky is. He has the song, I think the most popular one is Night Call. It's like, I'm giving you a night call to tell you how I feel. I do think Madeon walked so Kavinsky could run, because there's a lot of influence there. But I'm not that impressed. Anyway, let's get back to better art as a palate cleanser. Sometimes people can capture nostalgia well, other times it can feel derivative. Yes, I agree. Where it's like you can do things in a way that makes it sound familiar, but also is exciting and new. Because, you know, with like art theory, various types of theory, people are like, you can't create anything new. It's just resynthesizing things. And can you do it in a way that surprises people? I think that is one of the best hallmarks of good art, is like, if we're talking about just creating art for art's sake, not about it having to like mean something larger in terms of like politics or humanizing people, which I think that is like art at its finest, is like if you can do something that is surprising, where you can pair things together or multiple things, a combination of things that like people start to expect something and then it changes in a way, like having these kinds of like levels and juxtaposition that shows people have a lot of artistic talent, which I have never been like surprised or like, I haven't heard this before, like what, to things that like Taylor Swift has created. I grew up with people just like being obsessed with her growing up in Utah, where there are a lot of like white, blonde, blue-eyed women that were like, I can play the guitar, or like girls that would be like, we're going to be around a campfire and I'm going to play this song. And I'm like, oh my God, being forced to be there. And just being like, I don't care. Like, she's mostly talking about boys. And then she claims she's a feminist. Anyway, I said I would stop talking about her. So I'm going to. Anyway, this is the Notorious Cree. The Notorious Cree has some great content. He does some activism that is really important. But he's also a dancer. I think he might have a couple of songs, actually. But I did want to show him doing a hoop dance.
Say, hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here at the One Young World Summit, which is the largest
This
youth
is what it
summit
means
in
to
the
be
world.
American.
I'll be performing tonight some traditional hoop dancing alongside
Not a red,
Cher.
white,
I
and
can't
blue
wait to go
flag.
and give her for all these amazing youth. Can't just walk in there. So right now we're just gonna go around and speak to some of the indigenous youth from around the world, some of the delegates, and just kind of see what they're up to out here. There's indigenous people from all over the globe. It's amazing, all gathered here in Turtle Island. I'm with my friend Dewey. He is moderating a lot of the panels and just being an awesome ambassador for this event. So
my name is Diwikdi Valiente. I come from Panama and I belong to the Kuna people of Panama. Great, this is a very special event because we are bringing together people from many different nationalities. We have
There was an album last year over here that captured nostalgia so well. It was kind of an anthology of songs that remix interpolate various huge Black British songs from through the years with music videos that were just pure. Ooh, what is that? Who's the artist? Or like the artist? Do you train at all? I think in some self-defense, I'm doing a little more of that. Just like physical, like hand-to-hand self-defense. But I do need to be more proficient, especially these days, being a queer person living in the United States of America. Jim Legacy, Black British music. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna have to check this out.
130 people from
Thank
60
you.
different indigenous groups, and it's the first time that One Young World has dedicated one day only for indigenous people.
Don say, hey, what's up, everybody? If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe to the channel. There's lots more content coming down the line.
So we are learning about climate activism, cultural regeneration, the power and leadership of indigenous people from all over the world here.
So I'm here with one of the youth. This is Hawaii Key, came all the way from New Zealand.
So really we're just here to support Hannah, who was receiving the award for a politician. And I guess for us, or for her, it was to make sure that us as Indigenous people, that we carry out what we hold and what we know wherever we go.
Yeah.
And so with that comes a lot of singing and haka, like you were mentioning. And so that's us. We're that support group for her. And that's our job this week.
Seeing this global solidarity, indigenous solidarity is so cool. When did this come out? A year ago. Okay, I knew it was fairly recent. I didn't know I'm subscribed on my personal, but not on my stream account. I'll share his page in case you all are interested in subscribing.
Awesome. So good. Then we had some really amazing traditional lunch. We had some Abenaki corn soup as well as bison sandwiches. Then headed over to the exhibition center to check out some of the panels. A lot of people were just raising awareness about what's going on in their communities. It was really amazing. And then there's Cher. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I love Cher. I'm gonna try really hard not to freak out.
Cher?
I'm just getting ready for rehearsals
Cher is there?
now at the Bell Center.
What?
Good one. So we're just getting ready for the big performance. I'm a little bit nervous because
2 years. Wow, that'll be cool. Yeah. I mean, I would love to participate in something like that. Corn soup sounds good. I know. All of the food they've been talking
it's
about.
going to be in front of 7,000 people at the Bell Center, which is where the Montreal Canadiens play. I'm really excited though. And I just want to run through some of my outfit. This is my hoop dance regalia, and it has a lot of meaning behind it. The people I had and the friends and family I had to just kind of work on my regalia. They put a lot of really good detail in here, and I just want to explain some of it. So my beadwork,
Made by
you'll see,
hand.
has quite a bit of turquoise on it.
Stunning.
And that turquoise is a representation of both land and sky. And it also represents the protection stone. So I'm really, really thankful that I was given these colors. And I always think about that when I'm putting my regalia on and I look at these colors. And on my regalia here, see here, there is a lot of fire colors on my regalia. And one of the things I was told is that these fire colors represent the sun as well as the flickering of a flame. So whenever that flame flickers, you'll notice it changes a lot of colors. And that's what those fire colors represent. You know, the fierceness, but also the nurturing spirit of fire has to sustain life as well. And
That's
if you
so
look,
cool.
my belt that I'm wearing, there's quite a bit
Dakota
of
Access
designs
Pipeline
on it.
demonstrations had a
Those
lot of
designs are
international
actually
indigenous
teepees,
solidarity
so
too.
they-
Yeah, I know. I think that's a great example. The other day we watched that Elaine Brown video that you shared that was excellent in combating interviewers that are being sexist or not even realizing at times whether it's intentional or not, these internalized forms of discrimination, whether it's like internalized patriarchy or misogyny, that she mentioned in it at one point, and I was going to say something and then like thought of it again afterwards just because we were talking about some other points that she was discussing. It was a really excellent video. She did mention that she was like, there aren't like Native American people who are doing this or Puerto Rican people doing this, meaning like organizing in the way that the Black Panthers did. But I don't think that was necessarily true, because like there has always been resistance. And like it may not have looked exactly like what the Black Panthers were doing, but even like, and I know this came a little bit after, but the Rainbow Coalition that Fred Hampton started, that was across class and race. So like that was an example of having more solidarity that way. But yeah, I think it might just have looked different than what she had seen, or maybe not in like the area that she was at, especially if there was not like a large population of indigenous people where there were places to organize and stuff. So I wanted to just provide that disclaimer as well. I think she was trying to speak about this specific situation, but it did come across as absolute. No, I think you're right. Yeah, I just wanted to provide that like disclaimer because what she was saying was extremely important, but also just wanted to like hold that nuance as well. Which Elaine Brown, for people viewing now, she was the one that had the song that we watched, Seize the Time. This one, this is her. The fascist protests with guns in South America, insurrectionary anarchist protests with homemade shotguns. Left wing. Yeah, Western folk tend to be more peaceful. I think it's because of this internalized colonialism a lot, especially when it comes to like white leftism. There is, and this is something that like I call out a lot, especially when it comes to resistance of like queer people, how we just had Pride, um, that there is this idea of like white leftists that they want to dictate what resistance and liberation looks like in order, and like what the tactics look like for liberation when they are not primarily affected by the most harm. And it's like the people who are harmed the most should have the most say in what their liberation looks like, because they are the ones who should be defining it. So there is that. But yeah, it's like there are these ideas of like, oh, we have to protest, but not in that way. And like not analyzing like how effective resistance revolutionary movements have actually happened in history. There also is a lot of propaganda that happens not only with white leftists, but like Western leftists, like what you were saying, of just not being taught a lot about history. So I think a lot of these things are factors.
Represent the plains, and they represent our earliest forms of homes that we had as plains natives. And then I got a Cookham scarf. So this Cookham scarf is something that was kind of representation of a symbiotic relationship that some of the early Ukrainian settlers had when they came to Canada. They didn't really have a place to settle or live, and a lot of
Notorious Cree is located in Canada, and obviously he's from the Cree tribe, the Cree Nation.
So this Cookham scarf is just a representation of that relationship that we've always had with the Ukrainian people, because they would give scarves to some of our grandparents, Cookhams in particular, and our Cookhams would wear these scarves like this. Come to the top, they tie them like this, and so they have a name. These are called Cookham scarves. You want a little bit of Cookham?
Cute.
Watcha! Nice. So as a traditional hoop dancer, one of the teachings I was told is that each hoop is a representation of something different. Your first hoop is a representation of your body. So all those things you put into your body. One hoop.
The sound just went down. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit.
When you take your second hoop and put them together, these two hoops represent your mind. So all the things you feed your mind, the content you consume, all those things, those two hoops is a representation of that. These three hoops represent your spirit. So all the things you feed your spirit, you know, the way that you pray, dancing, singing, whatever makes your spirit feel good. These three hoops are representation of your spirit. When you take four hoops, these four hoops represent your ancestors. So all those ones that came before us, those four hoops are representation of those ancestors that continue to watch down upon us, even today and into the future. And last but not least, 5 hoops. When you're dancing with 5 hoops, these 5 hoops.
A lot of white leftists have zero understanding or experience of actual existential threat. Yep, exactly. Existential threat, physical threat. So people just sit around reading and theorizing without actually engaging in anything in pursuit of liberation. Yes, exactly. This is something that I have seen in certain organizing circles, or even that can happen with labor organizing, is that there are people that say, like, I'm a white leftist, but also they don't want to, and they want to, like, spout off theory or recommend books, not acknowledging, which I think that's important. These things are important, to be clear, but not acknowledging intersectionality and how there are some people that don't have access to books unless you are providing the book themselves, that like someone may have to take a bus and then get a library card to go to the library. That book may be banned in the library. that like people may not have the money to buy these books, that people have like families and that they are working multiple jobs, that like there are so many different factors that are involved when like considering if people can be as involved uh in organizing. And I think especially like people who tend to like appoint themselves as leaders or think of themselves as leaders, that they have proximity to class, whiteness, a lot of the time maleness, and they have more free time in order to be organizing more, like actually in places. They have access to like public transportation more, or like a car where they're able to get to things. And that like when people are saying like we need more militant type of resistance, that they're the first to be like, no, don't do that, I'm the leader and that will look bad on me. That's like, you appointed yourself the leader, bitch. How about we have a democratic process and say like if you should be a leader or not. And like good like labor organizing, any type of organizing, in my opinion, that is like the best kinds of organizing is democratic. Like, okay, so we live in a society that consent is not taken into account whatsoever. And this is a radical thing to do, to actually have people have a say and have it be equal say. Don't get me started on class reductionist. Exactly. Yeah. Of like people wanting to be for certain things without acknowledging that like some people don't have the luxury of time for incrementalist tactics. And so this is why there are people who are more anarchist leaning that can be like, okay, like what can we be doing now? Engaging in direct action and not having it be this type of like white savior complex where like white people are not centered constantly. Like white supremacy really is such a bitch to be deconstructing, that like most people feel like they just like can't function in the world without being centered. And it's like, this is the problem. Like, how about you listen for a little bit? That would be nice.
This represents all those elements coming together and telling your story in a good way. So your body, your mind, your spirit, your ancestors, all coming together in a good way and telling your story. Watch out.
Watch out.
We're just
Also, the
backstage right
education,
now.
not like it's even like it shouldn't be like put on him to feel like he has to educate people. And like, please subscribe to him to help support him, the Notorious Cree, just so that we can show like actual compensation for this education, that like now we get to understand more of the dance itself.
It's crazy out here at the Bell Center. You can hear like all the youth, all the people, like check it out. I'm really excited. I just want to get there and start dancing. Like that's how I feel before a performance, especially if I'm like a little bit nervous. I just can't wait till the music starts and I start dancing, because that's where I feel like I'm home. I just feel like comfort, you know, within that. So I have a little bit of nerves, but I'm really excited to be dancing for all these youth. Over 7,000 are here today. I'm so excited. Woo, let's go. Okay, so the show is about to begin, so I'm just going to share some of my...
The academic class of Trots have to be the worst in that regard. Not only do they sit around theorizing, but they actively tear down every liberation movement. Yeah, exactly. It's what you were saying, this class reductionism of saying like, oh, if you have a degree, especially, or if you can't like say these types of words, then like you aren't viewed as being legitimate, and like not analyzing whatsoever of like access to education and like all of these books and like whatever, the free time to be learning this, that like that just goes out the window. That like there are many people that have like the right type of mindset and heart to be involved with this liberatory work, but they may not be using the term praxis, you know? It's like, that doesn't mean that like they are not capable or willing or like would not be a good leader in many ways. It's like just having to deconstruct this is so necessary.
Thoughts while performing. Originally, I was feeling pretty nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's at the Bell Center. You know, there's thousands of people in the crowd. One of the main things that kind of had my nerves going is, although it was a long stage, it was very narrow once I started moving forward, and I really didn't want to lose a hoop like out into the crowd because I knew I wouldn't get it back until after the show. Also, I just didn't want to hit anybody in the head with my hoop. Honestly, it's happened before where I've lost hoops in the crowd, and it's never a good feeling when a hoop goes flying and it just hits somebody. But once the music starts and you start dancing, you just kind of remember that this is what you do. This is what you've been doing all your life, and to just have fun with it. Then I threw in some of my old school breakdancing moves, did some handstands. Next up, this is the hummingbird, and one of the moves I do that's going to be coming up here is my favorite move. Not this one here, but the eagle in my language, the kihiu, which is a representation of love. And then I kind of just ended off here with the butterfly. And ending it off with the creation of Mother Earth, as we say. All in all, I had such a good time performing. The crowd was absolutely electric. Holy, I think that's like the most energy I've ever given for like one song performance. I feel amazing. There was so much support in the crowd and just felt really good to dance for everybody out there. Thinking about my ancestors, my family, people who are in need of that good healing medicine. The ending, there was like a little slip. Nothing's ever gonna go exactly the way you planned, as long as you're doing things with good intention. That's all that matters. I'm so happy I was able to share this experience with all of you. Please like and subscribe to the video. I got lots more content similar to this, as well as many other things coming down the line.
Incredible. Yeah. Do support him and his channel. I liked this video. I'll also share this video if you would like to do the same. Okay, let's get into the reading, shall we? We are on... Here we go. I've been putting my gloves on backwards lately. We are currently in Act 2. We are on Scene 3. We did not start it yesterday like I thought we would. That's okay. It ended... Scene 1 ended with Iago essentially saying that he is plotting, that he's like, oh, I'm so jealous of Cassio and Othello and their sexual prowess because they're so good looking and good at warfare. And it's like, okay, Iago, just be honest, darling, about your feelings. Like, it's the end of Pride, but Pride lasts year round, so like, just come out. It's okay. That's my take on the situation. The internalized homophobia is very real. He's extremely misogynistic, constantly reducing people to their looks and body parts. And he does it in ways that's just like gross, like not even amusing. So the next scene, Scene 2, there was a herald essentially saying that like, oh, Othello is great. He defeated the Turkish fleet, meaning he defeated his own people. Like, he was a traitor to his own people, and we love him for that because he protected white people. So, this is racist. It's Islamophobic. It is essentially trying to appeal to Shakespeare's audience at the time, the colonial forces that existed, to say like, oh, you should like Othello because he's basically one of us. But that's all while they continuously other him for his skin color. So he would never be accepted in the in-group. Excuse me. Have a little hiccup. All right. Scene 3. Enter Othello, Desdemona, Cassio, and attendants. Othello. Good Michael, look you to guard tonight. Let's teach ourselves that honorable stop, meaning self-restraint, not to outsport discretion, meaning pass the limits of. Cassio. Iago hath direction what to do, but notwithstanding, with my personal eye, will I look to it. Othello. Iago is most honest. He's continuously called honest. And like I said before, I'm like, are none of these bitches Scorpios? Hi. I guess I'm like, would they not be able to like see through his shit? I don't think he's that clever as what he thinks he is. Except for like his wife. She seems to know that he's a shithead, but like is not talking about it. So. Michael, good night. Tomorrow with your earliest, let me have speech with you. To Desdemona. Come, my dear love. The purchase made, the fruits are to ensue, that profit's yet to come tween me and you. Good night. So that means they're exiting because they have a couplet that he said. Footnote. If Roderigo... Oh, wait. Oh, footnote. We haven't yet consummated our marriage. So he's saying the purchase made, the fruits are to ensue. So like essentially like we made the deal, especially back in this day where there were dowries and such of like women quite literally being viewed as like the being the property of men. I mean, not in the sense of like slavery, which is human property, because like Desdemona still has like some autonomy, but her having very little autonomy, but seems to have a little more autonomy with Othello. So there's that. He's saying the profit's yet to come tween me and you. So also the word come, this is a double entendre meaning orgasm, obviously. Exeunt Othello Desdemona, which means exit. Enter Iago. Ugh, this bitch. Cassio. Welcome, Iago. We must to the watch. Iago. Not this hour, Lieutenant. 'Tis not yet 10 of the clock. Our general cast, meaning dismissed, cast us. Our general cast us thus early for the love of his Desdemona, who let us not therefore blame. He hath not yet made wanton the night with her, and she is sport for Jove. So he's like, he knows, he's trying to talk about them in a way that would be even improper at the time. And Cassio is like wanting to be more respectful. Cassio. She's a most exquisite lady. Iago. And I'll warrant her full of game. Meaning like sexual games. Cassio. Indeed, she's a most fresh and delicate creature. So he like refuses to be getting into like this dirty type of talk of like objectifying Desdemona. Iago. What an eye she has! Methinks it sounds a parley to provocation. Cassio. An inviting eye, and yet methinks right modest. Iago. And an inviting eye also may be a double entendre for, like, her own genitalia. And Cassio, once again, is saying, like, oh, yes, she has nice eyes, and she's modest. So he's trying to, like, keep Iago in check. Iago. And when she speaks, is it not an alarum to love, meaning call to arms? Cassio. She is indeed perfection. Iago. Well, happiness to their sheets. Come, Lieutenant, I have a stoup of wine, and here without are a brace, meaning a pair of Cyprus gallants that would fain have a measure to the health of Black Othello. So once again, talking about him in racialized language. Cassio. Not tonight, good Iago. I have very poor and unhappy brains for drinking. I could well wish courtesy would invent some other form of entertainment. He's like, oh, I wish I wouldn't drink. And Iago is annoyed because he's wanting to get him drunk. Apparently. Iago. Oh, they are our friends. But 1 cup. I'll drink for you. Cassio. I had drunk but 1 cup tonight, and that was craftily qualified too, meaning well diluted. So this also is trying to say, like, oh, he's such a noble person because he does not drink that much. He's wanting to keep his wits about him, which is why he was chosen to be the lieutenant. And Iago's like, come on, keep drinking. I'm wanting to try to corrupt you. And behold what innovation makes here. I am infortunate of the infirmity, and dare not task my weakness with any more. Iago. What, man? 'Tis a night of revels. The gallants desire it. Cassio. Where are they? Iago's like, come on, get drunk. Everyone wants this. And Cassio's like, what do you mean, everyone? Where is everyone? Who are they? Iago. Here at the door. I pray you call them in. Cassio. I'll do it, but it dislikes me. Saying, I don't like it. Exit, Cassio. Iago. If I can fasten but one cup on him. Oh, yeah. This is what I'm doing with the sides. Meaning, like, just to the audience. If I can fasten but one cup on him, with that which he hath drunk tonight already, he'll be as full of quarrel and offence as my young mistress's dog. Now my sick fool Roderigo, whom love hath turned almost the wrong side out, to Desdemona hath tonight caroused, potations pottle deep, and he's to watch. So, the footnote, consumed drink to the bottom of the tankard, and he's assigned guard duty. So he's saying, he's doing that to Roderigo, where he's like, he's sick because he's lovesick, but he's also sick because I got him drunk. Seems to be a common tactic of Iago's. 3 else of Cyprus, noble swelling spirits, that hold their honours in a wary distance, meaning who are touchy about their honour. The very elements of this warlike isle have I tonight flustered with flowing cups, and they watch too. Now amongst this flock of drunkards am I to put our Cassio in some action that may offend the isle. Enter Montano, Cassio, gentlemen and servants with wine. Oh wait, I still need to do this. Whoops. But here they come. If consequence do but approve my dream, meaning, okay, that's as obvious, if they turn out as I hope, my boat sails freely, both with wind and stream. Cassio, 'Fore God, they have given me a rouse already, meaning full draft. Montano. Oh, I don't remember what voice I did for Montano. Typical. Good faith, a little one, not past a pint, as I am a soldier. Iago. Some wine! Ho! And let me... Okay, he's singing, so this is why I started that way. And let me the cannikin clink clink. A cannikin is drinking vessel. And let me the cannikin clink. A soldier's a man, no man's life is but a span. Why then let a soldier drink. Some wine, boys! I don't know what that tune was. That was kind of tuneless, but there you go. Cassio. For God, an excellent song! Thanks, Cassio. I appreciate it. Iago. I learned it in England, where indeed they are most potent in potting, meaning drinking. Your Dane, your German, and your swag-bellied Hollander, drink, ho, are nothing to your English. Cassio. Is your Englishman so exquisite in his drinking? Iago. Why, he drinks you with facility, your Dane dead drunk. Which, I mean, I'm Danish as well, and Danes do drink a lot. I can attest to this. My great aunt and her husband, they'll drink a beer every afternoon. This is what they've done their entire lives, whether they're working or no. He sweats not to overthrow your Almain, meaning the German. He gives your Hollander a vomit ere the next pottle can be filled. Cassio. To the health of our general. Montano. I am for it, Lieutenant, and I'll do you justice, meaning match your drinking. Iago. Oh, sweet England. And then he sings again. Oh boy, we'll see what happens next. King Stephen was an unworthy peer, his breeches cost him but a crown. He held them sixpence all too dear, with what he called the tailor lown. Meaning a lout. The tailor was a lout. He was a wight of high renown, and thou art but of low degree. 'Tis pride that pulls the country down, then takes thy old cloak about thee. Okay, that's a little bit rough, but there you go. Meaning, his pride makes it so that he has to take off his very fancy clothing. Some wine! Ho! So he keeps calling for more wine from the servants. Cassio, for God, this is a more exquisite song than the other. Wow, Cassio is my hype man. Oh boy. Iago, wilt you hear it again? Cassio, no, for I hold him to be unworthy of his place that does those things. Well, gods above all, there be souls must be saved, and there be souls must not be saved. Footnote. Teeny! That was so urgent. Hi. Hi, Buggy. Come here. Come here, Buggy Bug. We'll see if she hops up. She looks like she's deciding. Huh. Hi. What's up? What do you need? Okay. We'll continue while she decides. Hi. Come here. She keeps looking like she's gonna hop up. She gets this look in her eyes that she usually does. Like, she'll, like, jump on me. Like, that's, like, a little trick that she does. She gets this look that's, like, and then she jumps onto my shoulder. And then she, like, backs out. At least that's what she's been doing right now. The footnote is, referring to the idea of predestination, the belief held by Calvinist Protestants that some souls are destined from the outset to be saved and others damned. What Cassio is saying. Iago. It's true, good lieutenant. Cassio. For mine own part, no offense to the general, nor any man of quality, I hope to be saved. Iago. And so do I, lieutenant. Cassio. Aye, but by your leave, not before me. It's like, not to offend you, I don't want to die before you. The lieutenant is to be saved before the ensign. He's, like, rubbing it in of, like, I'm higher in rank, so I need to be saved longer. It's like, okay, this is hierarchy. Let's ha no more of this. Let's to our affairs. God forgive our sins. Gentlemen, let's look to our business. Do not think, gentlemen, I am drunk. This is my ensign. So he is drunk. That's why he's having to say he's not drunk. This is my ensign. This is my right hand, and this is my left. I am not drunk now. I can stand well enough, and I speak well enough. So he's very drunk. This is what people do when they're drunk and they're not wanting to seem drunk. They're like, I'm not even drunk. Gentlemen, excellent well. Cassio. Why, very well then. You must not think then that I am drunk. Exit. Montano. To the platform, masters. Come, let's set the watch. Exeunt, gentlemen. Iago. You see this fellow that is gone before. He is a soldier fit to stand by Caesar, and give direction, and do but see his vice. 'Tis to his virtue a just equinox, meaning of equal size. The one as long as the other. 'Tis pity of him. I trust the fellow. Nope. I fear the trust Othello puts in him on some odd time of his infirmity shall shake this island. Montano. But is he often thus? Iago. 'Tis evermore his prologue to sleep. He'll watch the horologe a double set, if drink rock not his cradle. Horologe a double set means he'll stay up twice around the clock. So he's trying to spread rumors that Cassio is a drunk or that he gets drunk all the time, that he can't sleep without drinking, when we know from the previous little interaction that Cassio hardly ever drinks, and that he's a lightweight, clearly. Montano, it were well the general were put in mind of it, saying like, well, I guess we should tell the general. He should know that he is always getting drunk, especially if he's going to be on a watch. Perhaps he sees it not, or his good nature prizes the virtue that appears in Cassio, and looks not on his evils. Is not this true? Enter Roderigo. Iago aside. Oh now, Roderigo, I pray you after the lieutenant go. Exit Roderigo. Montano. And 'tis great pity that the noble Moor should hazard such a place as his own second with one of engraft infirmity. It were an honest action to say so to the Moor. He's like, this is our duty to be talking about this. Which, you know, to be honest, I don't think many people in the military view like heavy drinking as that bad. Often this is a coping mechanism. So Iago, not I for this fair island. I do love Cassio well, and would do much to cure him of this evil. Voices within. Help! Help! Iago, but hark! What noise? Enter Cassio driving in Roderigo. Cassio, swounds, you rogue! You rascal! Montano, what's the matter, lieutenant? A knave teach me my duty? I'll beat the knave into a twiggin bottle, meaning a wicker case bottle. Roderigo, beat me? Cassio, dost thou prate, rogue? Montano, nay, good lieutenant. Wait, nay, good lieutenant, I pray you, sir, hold your hand. Cassio, let me go, sir, or I'll knock you o'er the mazzard, meaning the head. Montano, come, you're drunk. Cassio, drunk? They fight. This is stage direction. They fight. Iago to Roderigo. Away, I say, go out and cry a mutiny. Exit Roderigo. Nay, good lieutenant, God's will, gentlemen. Help, ho, lieutenant, sir, Montano, sir. Help, masters, here's a goodly watch indeed. A bell rung. Who's that which rings the bell? Diablo, ho. The town will rise, God's will, lieutenant, hold. You'll be ashamed forever. So this is his intention. Once again, so he's getting Cassio drunk, he's sending in Roderigo to offend him, intentionally to get Cassio to start a scene and be like, he's irresponsible, he doesn't deserve this position. Enter Othello in attendance with weapons. Othello, what is the matter here? Montano, swounds, I bleed still. I am hurt to the death. Attacking Cassio. He dies. Holy shit. Montano dies. Jesus, I didn't remember that part. Oh wait. No, he doesn't. He doesn't die. I thought that was a stage direction at first. He's saying he dies. Saying he's wanting to kill Cassio. Othello, hold for your lives. Iago, hold, lieutenant, sir. Montano, gentlemen. Have you forgot all your place of sense and duty? Hold, the general speaks to you. Hold for shame. Othello, why, how now, ho? From whence ariseth this? Are we turned Turks, and to ourselves do that which heaven hath forbid the Ottomites? Meaning by raising a storm. So he's like, oh, you're being uncivilized. So he's like saying like, you're speaking like my own people, which is demeaning to his people and himself. Othello, this is how you know it is not written by someone who is Turkish, by someone who is a person of color, or someone who is Muslim. For Christian shame, put this barbarous brawl. He that stirs next to carve for his own rage, holds his soul light, he dies upon his motion. Silence that dreadful bell, it frights the isle from her propriety. Bell stops. What is the matter, masters? Honest Iago, that looks dead with grieving, speak. Who began this? On thy love I charge thee. Iago, I do not know. Friends all but now, even now, in quarter and in terms, meaning under control, like bride and groom, divesting them for bed, meaning getting undressed. So he's also saying this of like, to say this is what Othello was doing, and it's foreshadowing of what he's doing to Othello, or what he's planning on doing, like currently in the works of doing to Othello. Of saying like, oh, they're like a newlywed couple. They were so happy. And then but now, as if some planet had unwitted men, swords out and tilting one at other's breasts, in opposition bloody. I cannot speak. Any beginning to this peevish odds, and I would in action glorious I had lost those legs that brought me to a part of it. Yeah, you fucking liar. Othello, how comes it, Michael? You are thus forgot? Cassio, I pray you pardon me. I cannot speak. Othello, worthy Montano, you were wont to be civil? You were wont to be civil? Meaning like you used to be civil. The gravity and stillness of your youth the world hath noted, and your name is great in mouths of wisest censure. What's the matter that you unlace your reputation thus, and spend your rich opinion for the name of a night brawler? Give me answer to it. Montano, worthy Othello, I am hurt to danger. Meaning like he is seriously hurt. He might die. Your officer Iago can inform you. Will I spare speech, which something now offends me, meaning somewhat now pains me, of all that I do know, nor know I ought, by me that said or done amiss this night, unless self-charity be sometimes a vice, meaning caring for oneself. He's like, I was defending myself, and trying to separate them fighting. And to defend ourselves it be a sin, when violence assails us. Othello, now by heaven my blood begins my safer guides to rule. And passion, having my best judgment collied, meaning darkened, essays to lead the way. Swoons. Is it swoons, I guess? Meaning like cry swoons. That's a curse. Swoons if I stir, or do but lift this arm, the best of you shall sink in my rebuke. Give me to know how this foul rout began, who set it on, and he that is approved in this offence, though he had twinned with me both at a birth, shall lose me. What in a town of war, yet wild, meaning still wild, the people's hearts brimful of fear to manage private and domestic quarrel in night, and on the court and guard of safety? 'Tis monstrous. Iago, who began it? So we have a footnote. And at the place where safety and security are at stake on the night watch. So he's like, this is, not only is this like foolish, it is dangerous because you should be on the watch. Montano to Iago, if partially affined, meaning biased for Cassio, or leagued in office, thou dost deliver more or less than truth, thou art no soldier. So he's saying like you're biased towards Cassio. Why will you believe the rest of us? Or you won't believe the rest of us. Iago, touch me not so near. I had rather have this tongue cut from my mouth than it should do offense to Michael Cassio. Ugh, he's so annoyed. He's just a traitor to everyone. He's not loyal to anyone. Yet I persuade myself to speak the truth. Shall nothing wrong him? This it is, General. Montano and myself being in speech, there comes a fellow crying out for help, and Cassio following him with determined sword to execute upon him. Sir, this gentleman steps in to Cassio and entreats his pause, saying like he came in and said like, you need to stop, Cassio. You're being too aggressive. Myself the crying fellow did pursue, lest by his clamour, as it so fell out, the town might fall into fright. He, swift of foot, outran my purpose, and I returned the rather, for that I heard the clink and fall of swords, and Cassio high in oath, which till tonight I ne'er might say before. When I came back, for this was brief, I found them close together, at blow and thrust, even as again they were when you yourself did part them. More of this matter cannot I report, but men are men. Men are men, boys will be boys, I guess. They fight and are aggressive. The best sometimes forget, though Cassio did some little wrong to him, as men in rage strike those that wish them best, yet surely Cassio, I believe, received from him that fled from strange indignity, which patience could not pass, meaning let pass. Othello. I know, Iago, thy honesty and love doth mince this matter, saying minimize. Yeah, thy love and honesty. Like, how are so many of these people are, like, just completely believing Iago? They just are deceived all the way around. It's like, he is an idiot. Why not, like, call him out for his bullshit? Aliana. Men are men. They need to be disciplined. Yes, exactly. This is good for people. Making it... Oh, I know, Iago, thy honesty and love doth mince this matter, making it light to Cassio. Cassio, I love thee, but never more be officer of mine. So, he is, casting Cassio out, saying that he can't be the lieutenant anymore. This is the intention of Iago, all along. Enter Desdemona, attended, meaning she has, like, her ladies in waiting and servants with her. Look, if my gentle love be not raised up, I'll make thee an example. So again, this also was intentionally trying to disrupt them, like, consummating their marriage, meaning, like, having sex. That's what that means. Because it's not meant to be legitimized. Iago believes in all of these customs and is like, oh no, if they're able to consummate their marriage, then it will be harder to break them up. They need handlers. Exactly. They need some doms. Yipping and hollering like a pack of coyotes. Exactly. Desdemona. What is the matter, dear? Othello. All's well now, sweeting. Come away to bed. To Montano. Sir, for your hurts, myself will be your surgeon. So he's showing himself to be, like, an adept physician in actually understanding how to help people when they're hurt, meaning, like, he's a good leader in that way. Lead him off, to attendants. Exeunt attendants with Montano. Iago, look with care about the town, and silence those whom this vile brawl distracted. Come, Desdemona, 'tis the soldier's life to have their balmy slumbers waked with strife. So again, marking their exit, he speaks in a couplet, which means, like, 2 lines that are rhyming with each other. They need doms, yeah. They need ethical doms. Iago. What are you hurt, Lieutenant? Oh, what are you hurt, Lieutenant? Cassio. I past all surgery. Iago. Marry, God forbid. Cassio. Reputation. 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 Oh, I had lost my reputation. I had lost the immortal part of myself, and what remains is bestial. My reputation, Iago. My reputation. Because this is, like, clearly what he cared about. It's, like, his sense of honor. This is why he had so many lines about this beforehand. Like, I don't want to do anything that would besmirch my honor. Okay. We do still have a little bit before the end of this scene. I think, just because I am going to be getting going for the night, I think we will stop here. So vain. Reputation. Yeah, exactly. This is all he cares about. But also, he was like, I earned this spot. I got it for being an honorable person, and now what do I have left? And it's like, okay, how about, like, prove yourself to actually be trustworthy? Or, like, it still is wild to me that I'm like, no one really can see through Iago. Please. Apparently there are no Scorpios in the story. Anyway. I will be streaming tomorrow. I am not sure at what time. Maybe around like 2 o'clock Mountain Time, where I'm located. We'll see. But this is for some alternative entertainment for especially those in the US. If you are wanting to engage in different ways with this so-called celebration of colonization. So, anyway, you can look for notifications if you have notifications turned on. You can also follow me on Instagram or TikTok. I will be also working tomorrow on the Discord so that it is still secure, but also not as locked down so people can't see channels. It is a very tedious, lengthy process to do so, and like assigning like roles and shit of like you have to choose like which channels you want to be a part of and stuff. I was doing research on it, so I have somewhat of an idea on how to do this, but anyway, stay tuned for that. There is still the entry survey if you are interested in joining. I'll put the link to the Discord here. There is no pressure to join if you're not interested, but also if you are, glad to have you. Okay, shall we do a raid? I think I did see that Androgynous Water is on. See if they're still on. They have some really soothing content. They talk about important things as well, like with politics. All right, let's do a raid here. Thank you all for being here. It was lovely being with you. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, and I will see you soon. Be respectful. Okay, bye.